We're in Florence for a month, so today we're going to share with you the big three. That's the Accademia with Michelangelo's David, of course, the Uffizi Museum with tons of fabulous art. It's shocking, I know. And finally, the Duomo. So let's get this show on the road. Hi, I'm Greg.
And I'm Paula.
We are two retired nerds that are traveling the world full time.
Join us as we fumble our way through this new life.
We'll share what we learn and have some fun along the way.
So you want to go to Florence. What do you want to see?
I want to see all of it, of course.
Of course.
But the challenge is, how many days do you have? Are you here for a day, 2 days, 3, or a week or a month?
And what's going to fit your interest? If you're lucky, you can get information from your friend Angelique, who loves Italy, loves to share information, is an encyclopedia of knowledge. So that was helpful. Or a daughter that studied abroad for a month. But if you don't have those, you can go to Facebook and YouTube. Do your research. Do your research.
Oh, do your research.
You don't want to kind of get stuck there and miss things that you wanted to see. But today we're going to talk about the big three.
Yep.
The big three are what?
The Uffizi, and the Accademia, and the Duomo.
Okay. And those are popular for a reason. Give a little rundown of kind of real quick what each of those are.
So the Uffizi is like the flagship, art museum for Italy for sure, but it's got famous art in there from Da Vinci, from Michelangelo, from Botticelli. It's got everything. And then you've got the Accademia, which of course has David, Michelangelo's statue of David, one of the most iconic things when you come to Florence, of course. But it's got other sculptures and artwork. And then, of course, the Duomo. It's the mascot of Florence.
I think you can say
it's
that.
on everything. I mean, but it's also huge and it's beautiful, and there's just so much to see and do there. So the Uffizi, there's obviously several ways to do it, but it's very crowded because it is the most popular thing.
And it takes some time.
So for us, we did discounted tickets. Well, we didn't really look for discounted tickets. We were thinking we want to get there early. First entry of the day, 8:15, and there's an 8:30 as well. Then we found out those are even discounted. So double win.
Not a lot, but still. But 8:15 was when it opened for us, and that was the time to be there. You get there first before all the crowds are in there.
That was huge.
Yes. And a little Angelique tip. Let me get you there first. It's 3 stories.
Yeah.
3 stories. So the first thing you do is walk the length of the museum to get to the stairs and walk up 3 flights of stairs.
Yeah, it's to the second floor. So remember, in Europe, ground floor, first floor, second floor.
Yeah.
U.S., you might think third story, right?
Yeah.
But the second floor is where all the major stuff is.
And I would say check out the museum map first. Let's say you are just there for a day and you just have an hour. They have 3 different routes, like an hour tour, a 2-hour tour, a 3-hour tour, depending on your time. If you need to speed through and see the highlights, it can tell you where to do that. But now to the Angelique tip. So it starts out with pre-Renaissance, but the biggest stars of the Uffizi are the 2 Botticelli paintings, the Birth of Venus and La Primavera. And so she suggested go up the stairs. Now, if you're fast up the stairs, you might have it to yourself. We had a few people that got there ahead of us, so.
But we're in the room with like 3-4 other people.
Yes, so you go to that room first, check out the map, because sometimes they move things around. So where it was for us may not be there for you. We went and saw those first. Got really good pictures. Got to take our time looking at those up close. And then you can go back and see the pre-Renaissance rooms and the artwork there.
I kept going straight because I wanted to see the Da Vinci and a couple of the other things down in further rooms. So I still was seeing all this with no crowds.
But the farther you get away from it, it's a U shape. So the farther you move away from the beginning, the less likely you are to come back. So I hung out in the room with the Birth of Venus for a while, and then went back and walked through the other rooms and eventually caught up to Greg. But still didn't have a lot of crowds. So you can stay as long as you want. But again, it's a U-shaped room, U-shaped, and you can't get in and out all the rooms. There's how many hallways?
45 rooms, and it's a big U, and there's sculptures in the hallways and some in the rooms, but on that second floor, 45 rooms, and it culminates at the end with a cafe that's got a patio and fabulous views of the Palazzo Vecchio and the other area. But
The highlights.
yeah,
The highlights are after the two Botticelli paintings, the Annunciation by Da Vinci and Andrea Verrocchio. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Verrocchio was Da Vinci's master. It's one of only 16 paintings that we have from Da Vinci. He did lots of other things, but not a lot of paintings that we have access to. So, and then what else?
You got Michelangelo's Doni Toto, which stands for Holy Family, and it's the only panel painting by Michelangelo that still exists. So, and what they say is right after he did this is probably when he started and went off to do the Sistine Chapel. So,
and then there's Medusa by Caravaggio, which Greg found really interesting. What was that?
well, it's Medusa's head, but it's on a painting that's on a shield, and the reflection of the shield is what they use to. So it's just kind of a really cool way of doing it.
Well, and it's a little gory.
Yeah,
It was-
that's true.
it was gory.
It's a severed head.
Yeah.
So
it's a little gory for the paintings they were doing at the time. There's a sculpture at the end of the second floor hall called Laocoon and His Sons by
Bandili.
And that's just an interesting painting. I was listening to the Rick Steves tour through the Uffizi, which is really nice. Every once in a while you come across something that has changed rooms that he's trying to talk about on the tour, but you don't get. And it was really helpful to see, to hear more information on some of the paintings that I'm looking at. I do have to stop it every once in a while because sometimes he'll move on and I'm not ready to move on. So nice thing about your own tour, you stop it, you look around.
Yeah, but that's the second floor. You've got, like I said, it's a big U.
There's a really good view of the Ponte Vecchio
Yes.
from up there. You come around and there's a view from up top.
From in the windows, 'cause it's right
You
there.
can see a lot of the Vasari corridor where the Medici family walked through, which is open now. We chose not to go through that, but you can get to it from the Uffizi. So extra 20 euros and you can walk where the Medici family walked to avoid, the crowds.
But I would say the majority of the things you're going there to see are on that second floor.
We should have stopped and eaten in that cafe. We talked ourselves out of it.
We were there early though.
We were, but breakfast. We need,
Yeah.
you could do second breakfast. It'd be fine.
What about second breakfast?
But
We're not hobbits.
Speak for
Sometimes I eat
yourself.
like one though.
But my brain was tired. But the second floor has some art, some 17th, 18th century art. A lot
The
of
first
stuff.
floor.
First floor, sorry. The
Their first floor, our
second,
yeah.
first ground. They have a lot of self-portraits there, and other interesting artwork. There are some sculptures from BC 323 to 30 BC, the Hellenistic period, and then
Like Raphael.
yeah. Well, no, Raphael wasn't there. They just have some of his work. And
Right,
their
but I'm just
sculptures.
saying that he's in there too.
He's in there too. Yeah.
So what's next?
Accademia. The second one on the list that everybody has to see because of Michelangelo's David. That one, the ticket's €16, and if you pre-book, it's 20.
Which you should.
Which you should. There have been some people that talked about they didn't have, by November they weren't having a pre-book, and you can still get a ticket, same day ticket, get in line. We purchased it later in the day. We walked in 10 minutes to get in line before our ticket went, and we went on in. We didn't have to wait at all.
Still lots of people there.
So lots of people there.
It's just not a big museum.
It's not. The spaces are a little tighter. It goes in a T shape, so you're kind of crossing back.
Everyone's there to see David, and he's right at the top of the T.
Where the Uffizi has like a schedule to kind of go down, you're just, zigzagging, crossing each other.
What else is there besides David?
Besides David are the prisoners, which I thought was super interesting because Michelangelo talked about that the subjects were trapped in the marble and he just let them out. That's what it looks like. He's like they're partially coming out of the stone. And so it's just really a cool perspective.
Yeah, but in this case, it's figurative and literal because he was actually making these. He was Pope Julius II had hired him to make them as prisoners, holding up columns to hold up the tomb. So it's just kind of a really interesting situation, but they are really cool pieces.
Yeah, I
So
thought they were
highlight.
really neat.
I recommend seeing it.
We also enjoyed seeing the musical instrument museum. It was quieter over there, not as crowded. We went over there, hung out for a while. There's 3 Stradivarius instruments there, but I found the more unique instruments kind of interesting. And by the time we finished that, we went back and the crowds were beginning to dissipate and we had more room to kind of enjoy David then without feeling like we were in anybody's way or having to move or
And go all the way around him.
yeah, you could go. Yeah, there was room to go around him then, so we were able to take a little more time.
Now, David hasn't always been in the Accademia. In fact, you walk by the Piazza Vecchio.
Which you will several times.
You're not going to miss it.
Yeah.
There's a David out there, and that's where he was for the longest time before they moved him into the Accademia, and that's a replica that's out there now. So.
Yeah. There's interesting things about the statue. Do your research on David before you go because it's super cool to see.
He's just so lifelike, and
Yes.
for being made of marble like that, it's amazing. So
It's holding
highly
the sling
recommend.
so that you know that he's David. And
That's true.
So-
But it is a smaller museum. You're not going to
Yeah.
need as much time.
No.
But it's well worth going and seeing.
Yeah.
And then what's that leave us with?
That leaves us with the Duomo. But didn't you want to tell people something first?
Oh, I was going to tell them. Oh yeah. Please like and subscribe. we always enjoy that, and leave us a comment. That would be great too. And just tell us what's going on. We'd love to have you. Thanks.
The Duomo. The real name is the Cathedral of Santa Maria of the Flower.
I'm just going to stick with Duomo because then I can say hello, Duomo.
It's most famous for its dome. After being incomplete for decades, Brunelleschi came and designed, actually after a contest, designed a new dome. Has an inner, smaller dome and a larger, bigger dome. It had to have special machines, bigger than any that had been made before, designed just to put it together. So it's pretty amazing. But there's 6 things you can see when visiting the Duomo. There's the cathedral, the dome, the bell tower, the baptistry, Santa Reparata, and a museum. And there's 3 types of tickets. There's the Gilberti.
That's the no climbing ticket.
That's the no climbing ticket. You don't have to go up any stairs for that. And you see the baptistry, the museum, and the Santa Reparata. Then there's the Giotto ticket.
That's what we did.
That's what we did. It's all that plus the bell tower. Stairs for the bell tower.
Yep.
And then there's the Brunelleschi pass, which is all of that plus going up into the dome.
Lots of stairs.
Lots of stairs. And the prices are the Brunelleschi pass, that includes everything, is $30. The Giotto, that includes everything but the dome, is $20. And then the no climbing one is only $15.
Right.
The cathedral is always free. And the tickets are good for 72 hours. It starts, if you have the bell tower, the Duomo, it starts with your time ticket to go up the stairs. Or it starts with your first entry to any of the locations. And you can only go into those locations once.
But no backpacks.
No backpacks. We found that out.
Yes.
I wouldn't say the hard way, but a little bit the hard way, the annoying way.
Well, we went to the baptistry, and I had my little backpack on, and they're like, "Oh, no backpacks." I mean, and there was a sign there, so I should have noticed. But the place where you can check them, the backpack check, is right back over by where the museum is.
Which is the total opposite of the baptistry.
Yeah.
So it was a little long walk, but anyway, but give enough time, drop your backpack off first, and then go see what you want to see. But what we did, as Greg said, we got the Giotto pass, and so we started with the baptistry really. Then we went to the bell tower at 10:45.
9:45.
Yeah, and we were
Second in line.
second in line.
We got there about 15 minutes early.
And they will not let you in early. So,
Yep.
but we were thinking at first, well, all these people in line, we should have just waited and we could come in anytime during that time. Be first, because then you don't have to wait behind anybody that's a different speed than you. So you can go at your speed. We did find out there's nice little resting places as you go up. So lots of places to sit and catch your breath and then head on up to the next little section.
But it's 414 stairs.
It is. But we picked it because it had 414 stairs and not 463 steps like the Duomo. If you wanted to compare the two, the Duomo is about 10 meters higher, which is not a huge difference for the 50 different stairs. The neat thing about the Duomo climb is you can see the inner and outer domes and all the workings of that. But we have heard that the circular stairs are a little tighter, and again, it's got 50 more stairs.
Well, and we liked the tower because that was going to give us views of the dome. So it's kind of just what do you like the most of? And we just didn't feel like climbing 2 towers in 3 days because we
Yeah.
just climbed a tower the day before.
Yeah.
So one was enough for us, but it's kind of just whatever you feel
Yeah,
like. But
it's up to you.
They're all gonna be good.
You pick your ticket. Once we came down from the bell tower, we thought we'd go into the cathedral, but the line was so long. So instead, we headed to the museum, which is super cool. Don't skip the museum if you have time. It has items that were on the outside of the Duomo that have been brought inside to protect them, and you get to see them up close. It walks you through some of the inner workings of how they did the dome, a little film on that too, and it was very interesting, I thought.
it also has the doors to the Baptistery in there, the originals. And one of the cool things I read was that there's a legend that says when Michelangelo first saw Ghiberti's doors, he said they look like the gates of paradise. So both sets of doors are there and they're easy to get to and see up close.
I got to sit on the bench and like go through the baptistry doors, and I tried to pick out which Bible story each little section represented. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, don't skip the museum. It's worth going and seeing, I think
think
is
so.
is the message. But
And it's included in all the tickets. So so what we decided to do the next day was get there early and head into the Santa Reparata. And that is it's ruins that they have found under the Duomo from a church from the 5th century. So really interesting under there. I think they discovered that in 1969, late 60s, but definitely worth seeing. And
we got there early to get
yeah.
in line so that we'd be one of the first again.
And
that paid off.
Yeah, as we were getting out, it was getting more and more crowded. As we came up the stairs, though, the nice thing is once you're in the Santa Reparata, when you come out, you're in the cathedral. So you don't have to wait in 2 different lines. You just walk right out in the cathedral and see what you want to see there.
Yeah, I think in the cathedral, you got to see the underneath of the dome. It's beautiful. It's really what you're there to see. The rest of the cathedral is really nice. It's not the nicest church to go see, but it's worth seeing just for that dome part. So
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And
then not just the baptistry we already talked about, but you probably only need 15
20
minutes or so for that. It's just the one room, and there's still some things being worked on in there.
yeah, there's
so.
still some scaffolding in there. So we hope you enjoyed this video. We hope it gave you some helpful information. Don't just count on us. Check other YouTube channels, and you'll get a lot of information on, the big 3 in Florence and whether those are for you.
But that's the big 3.
That is.
So, ciao.
Arrivederci, y'all.